Hi, everybody. This is your announcement for Philosophy 201 for week 4 of our summer session. Today is Sunday. It is June 14th. So, first of all, I was just looking through the discussions for the last module, 1.3, which was the one on gender that you did after reading de Beauvoir and, well, not just gender, but also race. But the discussion was mainly about gender, wasn't it? It looks like a good discussion going on there. It is still going on. The due date is tonight. Today's June 14th, so tonight at 11:59. So if you haven't posted your 2 replies to classmates, you can finish that up. But yeah, I was, glad to see that the idea of conditioning was pretty straightforward for you, so that's good. There wasn't too much or any confusion that I could see. And you all have some interesting ideas about whether men and women are conditioned from birth to be different. So I'm looking forward to reading all of those probably this week sometime. Okay, so we continue in our course, and also thanks to everyone who posted answers to my bonus question, my extra credit question for last week. So for this week, your question is, actually, I'll get to that in just a minute. Let's go ahead and move on to what we're doing this week in our class. Okay, so we are moving to a new module, Module 2, which deals with creation and reality, okay, which I'm going to loosely categorize as metaphysics. Okay, so for the first part of this module, there's 2 parts. Actually, there's 3 parts to the module. We are in Module 2.1 for this week, which I have titled, How Did We Get Here? Okay, so make sure you look at these overview pages, all right, so you can see everything that you're supposed to do. And that's one thing I wanted to kind of emphasize in my announcement today, was make sure that you look at all of the pages in the module. I've noticed a few people are not doing that. And see, I actually have the ability to see your access report. So I can see if people are skipping around pages, which, I guess there's no, I'm not going to come after you. The cops aren't going to come find you or anything. But I think you're short selling yourself, and you're not giving yourself all of the material that you need in order to do these assignments as successfully as possible. Okay, so I just want to put a plug in for making sure that you are looking at all of the pages in the module, okay, especially this overview page. Okay, so here's the overview page. There's my nice picture of the Big Bang. So we are going to consider a few different, what we're calling creation stories. Okay, so I know this is one of those topics that can get a little dicey because I know that there are people who have very strong beliefs in how the universe was created and how humans came into the universe. And that is to be respected. Okay, but in our class, because this is a philosophy class and there is more than one theory for anything, we are going to consider very different theories of creation. Okay, and probably at least one will be very familiar to you. All right, so if we go down to the learning activities, there is my commentary. Please make sure you look that over. Okay, that gives you a little bit more perspective of the readings from me. Okay, it's a short one this week. And then your book has the readings that you're going to do. So by now, everyone should have their books. So I'm not going to do a scan of the readings. I probably shouldn't be scanning the readings. That's, there's like copyright issues. So I hope everybody has their book. But we're going to be doing 3 readings. Okay, so the first reading is an African creation story from the sacred storytelling of the Boshongo people. Okay, so this is a very different I'm assuming different. I probably shouldn't make that large of a generalization, but since most of us were raised in the West here, this might be a different story of creation than what you have heard. Then the second is from the Bible. Now, on this from the Bible, there's actually two versions of the creation story given. Okay, one is from the more Judaic tradition. The other is from more of the Christian tradition. Okay, so there's two different stories, which don't differ that much from each other, but they are different. So please don't assume that you know that story, okay, and you don't have to do that reading. Do this reading, okay, so you know exactly what's there when you go to do the discussion. And the third reading is from the scientific perspective. You're going to read something called Origin and Fate of the Universe. It's an excerpt from a book by Stephen W. Hawking, who was a very noted and prestigious astrophysicist. You probably have heard of him. He passed away not too long ago. Okay, so these are three different views of creation that I would like you to read and consider. Okay, then you click Next. Okay, there we go. You have a self-check quiz, okay, and this will be due on June 15th, which is Monday. All right, that's tomorrow. So you need to get the readings done and get your quiz finished so that you can move on. The readings are not very long, so don't worry that you're going to be, bogged down with a lot of reading. They're all pretty short. Okay, and then this is our discussion for this module. So the question is, and I kind of focus in on the Bashango people story, but again, I think it's great when you bring in the other readings to help you to support what what you'd like to say. So the question is, how does the story from the Bashango people compare with or differ from other creation myths with which you are familiar? Okay, so everyone knows a creation story. It might be one that were taught in your religious life. It could be one that your family has passed along to you. Whatever the case may be, it doesn't necessarily have to be one that is religious in nature or one that you've learned from a religious institution. Okay, so any other creation myth that you are familiar with, including the other two that you read for this module. All right, so that is the question for the discussion for this week. Okay, so the question for your extra credit point is, the last 3 weeks, I don't know how much you've been following current events and what's been happening across the country. It's been quite eventful, we'll just say that. And I'm referring to, the killing of George Floyd and then the subsequent protests that have occurred since then and the calls for police reform. And still we have a virus with us as well. And states trying to open up, communities trying to open up and live the life we used to live, but still having to deal with this virus. So my question is, with all of that that's been going on in terms of the virus and calls for police reform and justice and awareness of racism, have there been philosophical questions that have emerged for you? And if they have, what have they been? So in other words, what philosophical question has emerged for you over the last 3 weeks, just in observation of all that's been going on in this country and around the world? Okay, I look forward to seeing your comments. That's it. If you have any questions or need help with anything, please contact me Like I say, don't be lost, okay? I am here to help you. Okay, that's it for this time. I will see you again next week. Thanks for all your hard work. See you soon. Bye.